We started the year with Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. Last session we had a really good diversity panel. We really wanted to give you all a chance to get to know each other, to network with each other, hopefully do business with each other, work on ways to make Oklahoma a better place. So thank you for being here. Today we've got a real treat with Patty Moore speaking to us on leadership, and November's program, I've got lots of things percolating but yet to be confirmed, so we'll keep you posted, but I hope you mark November 19th on your calendars. Tell your friends, tell your folks that have been part of the program that they're missing something if they're not here. Of course, we couldn't do things like this without our sponsors, and we've got some really terrific sponsors that have supported this program. Cox Business, Excel Financial Staffing, Third Degree Advertising, and Bank of Oklahoma. Will you help me thank all of them for their support?
Here in Oklahoma, we know Patty Moore is the former president of Sonic. She was with that group through 2004 as president. She remained on the board until 2006. Now she's a consultant, speaker, and author specializing in leadership development, brand development, market strategy, and planning. She works with a group out of Tulsa called the Persimmon Group. They're part of why we've gotten to have Patty here today.
Let me tell you guys why I'm here. I'm actually only here for one very, very simple reason, and it's intensely personal. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But let me ask you a question. Have you guys ever heard the phrase, it's not personal, it's just business? Anybody ever heard that? That phrase usually gets used when your boss is about to fire you, when you're getting demoted, when you're getting some bad news, when something isn't going the way you want. It is a very common phrase in business, and I will confess, I know that I have used it at times. But I've got to tell you, we're all wrong when we use that phrase. When we say it's not personal, it's just business. That's why I'm here, because business is intensely personal. I think we don't spend enough time talking about the personal side of business. Almost every day there's a story in the paper about some leader who has fallen from grace, has been indicted, something has happened. And I've got to tell you, most of the time, it's not because a new product that they introduced failed. It's not because of a business strategy that these leaders are making the headlines. It's because of something they did personally. It's because of a personal decision they made, and because they convinced themselves a long time ago that it's not personal, it's just business. There were two things that my mother used to say to me over and over again that I had no idea how they would inform my career. But she used to just really talk about staying in the present, doing the best job you can no matter what job you've got. Don't worry about the next promotion. Don't worry about the next job you're going to get, whether you're dusting the furniture, whether you're in school, whether you're working at a Chuck E. Cheese, whatever it is. She used to say, just focus on doing the best job you can and the future will take care of itself. That's what she used to tell me. The second thing she used to tell me was happiness is not dependent on what job you have, what house you have, what car you have. Happiness comes from within, no matter what your situation in life. I had no idea that I would be involved with a company. I had no idea writing speeches for Sonic would lead me to a career at Sonic. But I think back to what my mom taught me about staying in the present, doing the best job, and being happy at it, how important those things were and how personal they are. Back to the personal aspects of business. I have a BlackBerry. I love my BlackBerry. I check messages often. I'm very connected. I love technology, and this is a great tool. But something I've discovered is it's also a weapon if it's not used properly. Now, maybe not a weapon of mass destruction, but it is a weapon that is just wreaking havoc in the halls of business today. In fact, my co-author, Scott, has coined a term. He says this has ushered in a new generation of leaders. He calls it the vibrating pants generation. If you have any kind of a PDA, stand up. Okay? Now, here's the real challenge. If you turned it off when you came to this meeting, I don't mean vibrate, I don't mean silent, I mean if you turned it off, sit down. Okay. Another personal challenge. I'd like you to turn it off. Now, some of you may not know how to actually turn it off, but try to figure it out. Turn it off and go ahead and sit down. We are losing our ability to listen to each other. If you're not listening, you can't innovate, in my view. You miss all of the dialogue. And in fact, I think there should be a cloaking device in offices today that says you cannot send an email to the colleague in the next cubicle. So I have one simple idea for you to implement that will help you be a better listener. When you go back, and if you're in charge of meetings or if you have the opportunity, put a basket in the back of the room and ask everyone to just drop their phones in the basket before the meeting. Now, there's another part of this be seen, be heard, and be approachable that you guys could implement right away, but you're going to have to break a corporate law. Now, I don't know who invented this law, but it's been around for a long time, and it kind of goes like this. He or she who has the bigger office gets to have the meetings in their office. I'm not sure why, but it seems to be a law out there. Your boss wants to meet with you. You go to their office to meet. You become the boss, people come to your office to meet. If you're the boss, quit having meetings in your office. Have them in the lunchroom, have them in a conference room, have them out at one of your customers. Take your employees out, and you've got customers at Bank of Oklahoma, you've got customers, whoever was at Coppermark Bank. Go out and have your meetings there. I want you to think about something else that I want you to never leave the office without. I want you to never leave your office, and nobody said this. Maybe you do it, but nobody said this. I want you to never leave the office without a nutcracker and a really big nut to crack. Now, some of you are looking at me like I'm crazy. Let me explain what I mean. The nutcracker is just symbolic of the drive and the curiosity to solve the big issues. Another idea, and a way to go back to the other instinct of engaging and building relationships, have what if Wednesday meetings. Just invite everybody in, identify what the issue is, and there are no rules. We used to do this. In fact, I'm doing this with another group next Tuesday. We're having a what-if meeting with the entire leadership team, and the rules are, there are no rules. We're not going to talk about how we don't have the budget to do this. We're not going to talk about how it's going to be too hard, it's going to take too long, we don't have the staff. We're going to talk about, here's what our issue is, and now, what are the ideas? Just unfettered ideas that would solve this issue. And here is a great way to put your BlackBerry to use. Schedule time for your spontaneity time. I had a colleague who would, weeks before his anniversary or a child's birthday, would block a couple hours off on his calendar so that he could go shopping for it. Because something I know about all of us is if we schedule it, it's likely to happen. If we don't schedule it, it's not likely to happen. I encourage you to listen to your family, use that creativity and schedule time and build relationships with your family just like you do with your colleagues and with your clients. So if you take these instincts all together and you think about listening, you think about building relationships, you even think about using the outside world as your muse and personally getting engaged with what your big issues are, they're all personal. And of course, the last one is very personal, but they all come back to that very simple premise, which is it's not personal, it's business. No, the answer is it's business and it's very personal. And I promise you that you guys will become better, stronger leaders, leaders who lead with integrity, with compassion, with empathy, and those are the kind of leaders that the world needs right now.